How's it going, everyone? It is Thursday, June 6th, 2024, and this is the video for today. So let's get into the pick from yesterday, which was TSM long. Let's take a look at how TSM is doing. So if you got in yesterday, anytime yesterday, you're pretty much about break even depending on where you entered. If I do enter these swings, I do like to enter a little bit on these L RSI pullbacks. So if you took the swing, you got in somewhere around 62.50. You had to, maybe if you really wanted to, you could have taken profits on the open, but right now it's just digesting some of the gains. Remember, it had a really big move, and so we want to see most of that move hold and preserve. So this bounce up in the opening gap is really nice because it tested this breakout level, this high right here from May 23rd. It tested that level today and then it held that level. So that is really, really nice. As long as the market doesn't completely crumble, I think that this level should hold. So TSM is still good. It's still holding above our level, just digesting some of these gains. It made a really big move overnight. So it's going to take some time for this stock to, again, digest those gains and then start that next leg higher. But as long as it holds above this 160 level, this prior breakout, then we have the conviction to stay in the trade. Okay, next one here, LSXMA. This stock, again, also kind of compressing. So we saw this stock earlier on Monday. Massive move down, accelerated on some nice volume. Has kind of been compressing. Yesterday it was compressing at the low of the day while the market was grinding up. Today it poked down and made a new low and then found a little bit of support, compressing here again. So there might be some support coming at this level. I've drawn this low minus trend line that could be coming into play. So that could be potential support, but if the market goes down tomorrow, I think we can break through that support, and if we don't break through that support, then we can take profits. You can also see that we haven't really gotten a very tall bounce off this level here. We're not really retracing much of these highs. We're holding a lot of these gains, I'd say right around this 2110 area right here. Poked above it a little bit, but for the most part, we're just kind of holding this resistance level right here, testing this support, make a new low, and then make a new low earlier in the day. There also seems to be maybe a little bit of support kind of here, so there's a bit of a range forming, but I still like Liberty right now as a short, just digesting some of the gains with the markets going up. I think as long as it holds this level, we can get that next move lower. So I still like both of them right now. The other things that we are on is the WDC put credit spread. So that is also holding up pretty well. Tested this relative high from April 8th yesterday. Pulled back a little bit today. There's a little bit of profit taking in some tech stocks. But again, we don't need this to do anything crazy. It's just maintaining this trend, just kind of grinding up here, hugging that 8 EMA. So still looking pretty good overall. And then finally we have KSS. This was a broken earnings time spread, and right now I think it's probably going to be a full loser. I have a target out to take a small loss, so if I can get maybe like an 80 or 90% loss instead of 100% loss at this point, that's still better than taking a 100% loss. So I have an order out here. If we get a pop up in the market and KSS starts to pop up, then I can probably get that fill, and then we just take a better loss on that earnings time spread. All right, so let's take a look at what the market is doing. So on our daily chart here, I'm going to actually take off this 1OTL trend line, although it kind of matches up to what we're seeing. Market yesterday made a new all-time high, held the gains. Oh, that could be a potential pick of the day. It held the gains, closed very much near its high, and then today, small gap up, had a bid check here where we tested also this prior high here, this prior to call the prior all-time high, found some support, and then we launched off this point. So I think that is a little bit bullish. We have this high plus trend line coming into play here. There's also a pretty big day yesterday, decent volume, big bullish trend day. Market's going to need a day of rest. My personal market bias right now is that still mildly bullish fundamentally and technically. You can see that after this long move here, I'm going to get to these blue boxes in a second, but after this long move here, deep retracement, marginal new high, this potential, short retracement here, make another new high very quickly, has me a little bit more bullish than I was initially, just because this pullback was a lot shorter, was a lot briefer, and we made that all-time high very, very quickly. We responded very strongly here on heavy volume. Now, short term, where I see this is still a little bit cautious. I don't want to be gung-ho about getting a lot of longer swing positions. I think you can do some swing scalps, some day trades. You can distance yourself from the action with some premium selling strategies, weekly at the monies, naked puts, put credit spreads. I think all those are fine. Just what I'm really looking for in this particular day is to not really do too much. With the unemployment report coming out tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of volatility. I didn't really have an opinion one way or the other on how it could affect the market, but here's a couple of things I checked. So these blue boxes are the last 3 unemployment reports, and you can see just the price action around the area. We got a gap up, some above average volume here, some nice volatility, some nice range. Same thing. This is after a bearish trend day, but we got the unemployment report. Average volume, we got some high volatility. Unemployment report here. Above average volume, we got some higher volatility. Some cases we got a gap up. In other cases, it wasn't a huge overnight move, but we did see a lot of volatility throughout the day. So there's a good chance of having a pretty nice moving day tomorrow. As to how it's going to change the story, so far I think it seems to not be a crazy, massive, big expectation. So I believe the forecast for the unemployment report is 3.9, and if you look at the average, it's been around 3.7 to 3.9 pretty much since August of 2023. So it's been pretty flat here. The unemployment's been pretty low. The economy has been pretty strong in that specific focus. So we're not really too worried about the actual number changing the macro story, but we do know it's going to cause some intraday volatility. Now, that being said, if it's not changing the macro story, then what do we expect the market to do in this next coming week or two? Well, unemployment report is tomorrow, and then we're not going to have anything until the FOMC meeting on the 12th, which is also the same day as the CPI report. So that is going to be a pretty big day. I think after we adjust some of the news, it's going to be maybe some quieter days on Monday and Tuesday, and then we're going to get some volatility on Wednesday. So, I don't think the unemployment report is going to change the story too much. I think we're going to stay pretty close to this high of the day here for the next couple of days. And then CPI and FOMC are going to be a little bit more of those market-moving events where the market's going to adjust to some new information, probably some new rate cut expectations, their expectations on how fast inflation is going to come down, how sticky it seems to be, and what that implies for the rate cuts. So all that being said, I have this breakout here, but I'm not expecting too much follow-through. We made a huge move earlier in the year, the first couple of months, and now we're making this marginal new high. We kind of compress after we make this marginal new high, and then we get this pullback, and then we get this next leg higher. So I feel like we're going to have a couple of tiny candles here. FOMC could swing it one way or the other, and then after that FOMC event, if the market moves up higher, we might get a pullback, and that's what I want to see before entering some more put credit spreads or some more premium selling strategies. Wait for that pullback. And then day trade some of these, lower kind of dead days here, find some nice stocks and ride them up. That's sort of my plan. I think it's just, I don't know, I'm being pretty cautious, being pretty light here. For these swings, I really want to have great entry spots market-wise. And if I'm not getting great entry spots, then I want to stick to more of a swing scalp approach where I'm kind of in and out of trades and I'm not in too many trades at once, so I don't have too much to manage if something goes wrong. Okay, so a lot of that stuff is said. Again, to reiterate, long-term market bias. One, fundamentally, we're mildly bullish here. The economy is still looking good. Some signs of slowdown. ISM manufacturing, ISM services came back up in expansion territory, beat expectations, which is a good sign. If unemployment report still stays pretty strong, that's another good sign. So overall, still looking fine. The main thing Pete was talking about was just having the earnings catch up to the valuations. So that's why he believes there could be a horizontal trading range. I don't know for sure. It's hard for me to make that kind of prediction a couple of months out. But he's been pretty spot on about many things. So I'm going to kind of take that at face value and have that just kind of as a maybe default market bias and make some adjustments the more I learn about fundamental analysis and start to form my own opinion more clearly on that sort of view. Shorter term, mildly bullish again, end of the move. Lots of information, lots of news coming out over here. We don't have to get crazy about positions. Cash is a position and cash can be king. What's going on intraday? Let's take a look. So, yesterday market gap up, tested the bid. ISM services came out. We got this bullish hammer here. Nice, strong move from earlier in the day, and then we ended up rallying more and more and more. I think in the video I mentioned that if you look at how we move up here on this bullish trend day, we never really give up a lot of ground, right? Price moves up higher. Hold this level, we get a little bit of a pullback to this next foothold, move up higher, pull back over here. Okay, here's this next foothold, right? So if I were to just draw these pullbacks over here visually, you can see market makes 2 steps up, comes back, and makes 2 steps back, and it's very tiny or mixed candles. If it has a long candle, it's pretty brief, and then we get that next leg higher. Here's the second one over here. So you can see just all of these footholds coming over here in SPY, and then we're compressing here at the end of the day. So not really too much going on in the market at that point. And I'm going to delete all these later, but just so you guys can see okay, come here, pull back, make a new high, 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 pull back. So, after the strength after the pullback is these great entry points on a day like that. So we got a strong bullish trend day. As I mentioned earlier, after that trend day, we're going to expect a day of rest. And that's what we got today. Pretty much a very LPT sort of day. Gap up, filled in this gap earlier. We have a kind of a weak bearish trend earlier in the day. Tech was taking a break. There was some bullish breadth overall. Mega cap tech was fairly balanced early in the morning, so not a lot of bearish sentiment. We test this kind of high volume candle at the open, I guess the last 10 minutes of the day, which lines up to the prior all-time high. We test that, bounce up, test that again, trigger some sell stops, get sucked back in the range. And now we're just kind of chopping around doing nothing, right? We're just going sideways. So this upward sloping channel, I think, has been broken. It's not really valid anymore. And I think usually after these big moves, we're going to transition to some sort of horizontal trading range where buyers and sellers are fighting. Not going to have a lot of net movement because we are expecting big news tomorrow. Institutions are going to wait for that news and then sort of make some adjustments to their positions. So kind of this sideways range is going to be kind of a dead on the day market. Some potential for trades earlier in the day, but other than that, I think later in the day, a lot of stocks are going to die out here because the market's not giving them any tailwind, unless it's a really crazy mover, something like Illumina, which is just one of the most insane movers that I've seen today, just absolutely skyrocketing higher. Huge move. Yeah, I mean, you enter here and then you're running that up. Insane ATR move. Unless it's something like that, I mean, you're probably not going to be sticking with it too much. So, good day to take it early. and then, you know, just not take a whole bunch of trades. Now, I don't have a very confident pick to give, given the news tomorrow. I think the two picks I like overall here, I like ESTC quite a bit. I like how it broke above this area right here. And it has room. Excuse me. Has room. There's maybe a high plus trend line coming into play, so it has room until 115. But I think that's pretty weak resistance. We could also hit all the way up to 120. I think that's also pretty likely. So I like ESTC. It's formed a double bottom as well on the chart through its SMAs here. So this is a more comfortable reversal pattern that I'm here to trade because we've really put in a bottom and price is starting to move up higher after this kind of this earnings reaction as well. Lots of volume and momentum from institutions moving that higher. So that's what I kind of like on the bullish side. On the bearish side, I like KVUE. And here's what I like about this. So we have this kind of resistance, this support level right here, around 863, 864. Very choppy stock, but broke this level. And it has a pretty clear path to, you know, maybe 810 could be one candle. It's definitely 1783. This is a hard floor for this stock. So it's breaking kind of out of this compression. And there's certainly a lot of support at this level right here. You can draw one support line here. You can draw a couple of lines here. You can draw one here. So kind of breaking through all of these little support zones, support levels. If we look at it kind of on a more volume chart, I like to have these kind of, so you can see these high volume candles coming into play. So, you know, there's earnings candle. Okay, there might be a little bit of volume coming in here. Yeah, this is certainly a very high volume candle. So there could be quite a bit of support at that level right here. So looks pretty nice earlier, but you can see that there's just a couple of different levels that this stock could get stalled out on because there's so much volume over here, so much buying, and this could be pretty ripe for a reversal. So what I'm watching in KVU here is we broke through this level here, and we had to make a new low of the day and close below it. So if that happens, we've kind of confirmed that resistance, or sorry, confirm that support, make it resistance, and we can get through a little bit lower. Will all these stop it? Will some of these stop it? I don't know. But if I had to pick a short, I think that'd be one I pick. We're looking at a couple of other ones over here. ISRG was nice, but it's hitting that trend line. PLTR I took yesterday. That was a nice win. PayPal was looking very good. Got stopped out right over here. Yeah, this is a bit of a double top. So got stopped out right around this area. You can see there's a couple of high volume candles just chewing through, pausing, and churning up higher. That was a nice one I took earlier today. But yeah, we're going to take a look at a couple of different D1 picks. So I don't think I'm going to give a particular pick this video just because, you know, we're pretty light. We have, if you look at our current positions, we have one short and we have one long. So we don't have a lot of positions and they're pretty light. Sorry, let me go to my YouTube picks. Yeah, so we have one long in TSM. We have one short in LSXMA, and we have one bullish spread. So we're mildly bullish. KSS I'm not going to count. That's sort of its own thing. We're just managing that open position. But we're mildly bullish, and I want to keep it that way. I don't want to add a whole bunch of positions before a major news event, and I don't want to, you know, if moves it one way or the other, as you're just adding so much risk and so much extra trade management when you could really just do nothing, wait for the news, day trade some of that, see what sets up on a swing trading basis, and then take something. So I don't think I'm going to give any pick today. The only pick I could give if there was a nice earnings time spread. I don't think there's anything great that's setting up. This is nice in theory, but FFIE, just way too small of a price. You want something like 30, 40, 50. ADESC has a good price, but you can see the times exceeded is very high, low option liquidity. So not a lot of earnings time spreads to take. Yeah, so no pick I'm going to give today. I think this is just a good day to wait. I know I'm trying to give one pick of the day, but this is a time where if you look at our portfolio, look at what the market's doing, look at where we're situated, it's good to wait and not put on a whole bunch of risk when we don't need to. Okay, so that's the video for today. I guess I'll give some suggested trades. They're not going to be picks, just some trades to potentially look at. ESTC is nice. IREN is a very nice breakout. So that could be a nice one to trade. Cost is looking pretty good. So if you're looking for, if you need some long picks, maybe you want to balance out your portfolio, those are some nice places to look at. KVU is pretty nice on the short side over here. And if you want to just do a quick scan, let's see what's on Red Royal Flush on the short side. VKTX, not terrible. Not terrible. We zoom out over here. NTNX. Hey, NTNX is pretty good. That is a nice looking short. Actually, could be my pick of the day. That's funny. I missed this earlier. Yeah, look, a little compression break here. We got some room to the 200-day SMA. We're kind of through. There's a couple little levels here. So it looks like it got stopped here a little bit. Got stopped here a little bit. And now we're breaking through it. Ooh, that is a nice looking chart. NTNX. Yeah, so still not going to give a pick, but if you want a nice short to balance out your longs, NTNX is probably one I'd look at. MDB, pretty weak post earnings, letting the 8 EMA catch up. So you would set an alert at the low over here. If it can compress for a little while, digest some of those profit takers, and we get a new low, then that could be a really nice long that could set up. Or sorry, a really nice short. Definitely do not go long on that. Wells Fargo, another nice short as well. This is certainly a resistance, a support level coming into play here. So I'd be careful. A lot of tails, a lot of wicks here. So try to really make sure it kind of clears this with some gusto, some strong volume, some strong price action. That could be a pretty nice level here. So if it can get through this level, I think that's a really nice short that could set up. So Wells Fargo, keep an eye on that. Let's look at AAL compressing. So you set an alert at the low of the day. Market tanks tomorrow. AAL could be pretty nice. Target has been pretty weak. This is a pretty big pop, so not crazy about trading that, but a bit of a bearish flag. DG's got to clear this trend line, create an alert there. And let's look at TFC. TFC not bad. It's in this kind of wide bullish channel. Not crazy about this. This is just a very choppy stock. The most I'd consider is maybe day trading it, but there's so much like random shit in the way, right? Upward sloping trend lines, horizontal trend lines, SMAs. So not crazy about that. So yeah, so soft recommendations here. NT and X is very nice. I already mentioned KVUE, and there's a couple of shorts that are setting up pretty well. So set some alerts on those. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we will take a look at how the market's doing tomorrow and how our picks are doing tomorrow.